Looking back at Fairly Odd Parents, I tend to see Timmy as a reckless and selfish kid who makes some really bad wishes that he really should have thought more about, and yeah, I know thinking really isn't in Timmy's nature. Sure, when the chips are down and on some odd occasions he does good, and honestly at the end of the day I think he's a good person, but still, some of the wishes he makes have me looking at him a little funny. At the start of the show, I could excuse it. He's a kid after all, and maybe he doesn't fully grasp the power that comes with having fairies and magic at the tip of your fingers, but he doesn't learn and always defaults to absolute shenanigans with his wishing. And to be fair, the odds are pretty stacked against him. He's dumb as bricks, no offense, and one of his godparents is Cosmo, probably the dumbest fairy in fairy world, and I'm pretty sure some of the Cosmo stupidity started to rub off on Wanda, especially in the new show. And for this video, I'm going to look through the wishes Timmy made throughout the show and see how many of them were bad ideas that should have never been granted. The wishes where they kind of spiraled out of control unexpectedly don't really count in my book because it's not like his intentions were necessarily terrible. Like when he wished he was older in the first episode, that got bad real fast and he couldn't realistically know what to expect from that. Actually, that's on Cosmo and Wanda. They really should have said no to that wish, especially knowing that when Timmy gets older they won't be able to grant him wishes. Or that time he wished to be stronger and turn into the Hulk. He was doing it for a good reason, to stop Francis from bullying his friends, and it just really got away from him. No, I'm talking about the wishes where if Timmy did even a second of basic thinking, he would have realized how dumb or how malicious they were. And of course there will be some exceptions, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Also, for this video, I'm going up to season 2 because I grossly underestimated how much I would have to say, and if I did the whole show, we would be here forever. But if this does well enough, I'll look at the rest of Timmy's wishes to find more of his criminal activity, or maybe I'll do that video anyway. I'm a fickle guy. But yeah, like the video and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. Alright, let's start with season 1. Right off the bat, we have a wish where Timmy took it a step too far because he's an adrenaline junkie or something. In Power Mad, Timmy wishes for a challenging hardcore game that sucks you in, and that's fine. Nothing necessarily wrong there, though you can't tell me that there's not a hard game on the market he could have just got. Go buy Dark Souls or something, Timmy, you'll love it. But if that was just a wish, it wouldn't be in this video. No, he decided to also add the stipulation that he can't wish himself out, or anyone for that matter, out of the game. That's definitely a little extra. He would be locked in there until he finishes the game, and who knows how long it is. And what if Timmy got stuck or soft locked himself? He would straight up be trapped in the game. Well, I guess not trapped forever, because there's also the fun little fact that if you die in the game, you disappear forever. Shoot, if the game turns off, you'll disappear forever. You're probably going to hear me say this a lot throughout the video, but there's no way this is allowed in the rules. This is just killing someone with extra steps. And if it was just Timmy, sure, whatever, actions have consequences, but Chester and AJ get unwittingly roped into this. To be fair, it's not like Timmy invited them over or anything. Maybe. But why were there 2 helmets when he was the only one supposed to be playing? And why in the world would it not disappear when used? That's like leaving a loaded gun out in the open. You're just asking for trouble. In Father Time, Timmy makes some wild wishes, mostly because he's listening to Cosmo the whole time, and even then, I don't think Cosmo realizes how reckless Timmy was. Timmy's stuck in the house doing chores, and instead of, doing the chores or even just wishing them done, he wishes for heat vision because melting the dishes is the same as cleaning them and it's funnier. Putting aside the obvious risk of microwaving someone like he did Cosmo and Wanda, he destroys so much stuff in the house without any care in the world. I honestly don't understand what he possibly thought would happen. I know he says whatever object he melts is clean, but unless he's that dumb, he's probably joking. My most charitable interpretation is that he was planning on wishing everything back to what it was once he had his fun but got caught too fast. Either way, it's funny how he can't even fathom why his dad would be mad about the trophy he melted, and instead of wishing it fixed or something, he decides to go back in time to stop his dad from winning the trophy in the first place. Villain activity right there. It was me, Dad. I was the one who... At the very least, it's an insane lack of empathy, and that's even before you get into Timmy's disregard for changing things in the past. He's pretty flippant about what he does back then, and ultimately, he does change the future for the worse, which he has to fix. Before I move on, I do wonder how bad things got for Timmy. At the end of the episode, Timmy's dad gives him the melted trophy to give to the girl he likes, Trixie, but almost immediately, future Timmy shows up to destroy the trophy with pure malice. What happened to warrant that extreme of an action? Discuss amongst yourself. Next up, we have the same game where everyone turns to the graveyard Q-Kazoo. All I really have to say for this is that if the fairies had trouble finding their god kids, which is how we got introduced to fairy buildup, imagine how hard it is for everyone. Parents won't be able to find their kids, criminals can do whatever they want, so how are you supposed to figure out who did it? I'm surprised the world didn't instantly devolve into lawlessness. This wish probably should have warranted some kind of rule getting made, but spoiler alert, in season 3 he makes a pretty similar wish. Timmy's wish in Christmas Every Day was interesting because it feels like it was foreshadowing the infamous secret wish. Timmy seems to have no concept of time and wishes to make every day Christmas, which is just exhausting. Everything is closed because Christmas break is the new normal, Santa has worked harder than an employee at a black company, and fairies can't make wishes since they gave their magic to Santa, so I know fairy buildup is running rampant in the fairy community. Also, I'm pretty sure people can't age since it's the same day every day, which, again, feels like foreshadowing. Now that we hit season 2, Timmy immediately makes an insane wish, even for Timmy. And boys in the band, Timmy gets frustrated that his friends and family are more focused on going to Chip Skylark's concert than they are worried about celebrating Timmy's birthday. Not only that, but his parents leave him with Vicki to go see Chip live. And I get it, that's gotta hurt so bad seeing the people you love care more about a celebrity than your own birthday. The part that gets me is what he decides to wish for in response to this injustice. Off rip, he tries to harm Chip Skylark, which is obviously messed up, and of course against the rules, so no way that would be granted. So he goes for the next best thing, which is also still horrible. He wishes for, and I quote, the worst possible non-lethal thing to happen to Chip, which instantly makes Chip crash his car and end up at Timmy's house, only to be taken hostage by Vicki, and honestly just kill me, man. I don't know how this isn't against the rules, because if Timmy didn't end up feeling bad for Chip and helped him out, he could have been held there by Vicki until she got bored, and Timmy still had to get around the whole Vicki being in love with Chip thing. This is easily one of the worst wishes Timmy has made, because this is probably the most outwardly malicious he's been. Plus, it also showcases how dangerously stupid Timmy could be. Remember how I said I get why he made the wish because he was hurting? Well, it wasn't even his birthday. He was a day off. Just about everyone else knew when his birthday would be except for him, and I don't even know how you forget your birthday like that. Just check the calendar. He even put up decorations for it and everything. He should have known when even Cosmo and Wanda didn't wish him a happy birthday yet. At least we got an absolute banger of a song though. I think Timmy's big wish and action-packed is a great example of how self-censored Timmy could be. Life gets pretty boring for Timmy, so he decides to wish his life was like an action movie. Wanda immediately expresses concern and Cosmo doesn't even seem too enthused about it, which is how you know it's a bad idea, especially given that he was advocating for heat vision and he made that extremely dumb wish that's coming up next. Timmy's immediate response is that he'll be fine because he'll be the hero and nothing bad ever happens to the hero. Don't show Timmy John Wick or kill. But even if nothing bad happens to the hero, the same doesn't go for the hero's loved one. Hey, like John Wick and kill. And that's what ends up happening in the episode when Cosmo and Wanda get captured and drained. He only thought of himself and people got hurt because of it. Also, sure, Jorgen was evil in this episode, but he's not a bad guy generally, just a hard ass. No need to work him like that. And if Timmy really wanted to be in an action movie, why not make a virtual reality wish like in Power Mad? That seemed real enough and he seemed like he was having fun when he wasn't fighting for his life. With the first appearance of anti-fairies and that old black magic, Timmy gets annoyed with them, so he wishes he could go talk to them and confront them. That's fair, they were going crazy for Friday the 13th and generally being the worst, but when he gets there, Jorgen doesn't let him go into the jail and talk to the anti-fairies. So what does Timmy do? The only sensible thing, by wishing that all the anti-fairies were out of their jail cell because they'll totally stop to talk to him, especially with Jorgen right there. To Timmy's credit, he did get the info he wanted from Anti-Cosmo, but oh man, was this a cataclysmic event. The anti-fairies have been locked up for centuries and are itching to cause some problems. Plus, they left the portal to the human world out for anyone to open, so they were really asking for it. And even if the portal wasn't there, the damage on the fairy world probably would have been catastrophic. I'm honestly surprised Timmy didn't face repercussions from Jorgen, but I guess elevator land was punishment enough. Also, the long-lasting implications of this episode are kind of crazy. In The Boy Who Would Be Queen, Timmy doesn't actually make the wish on purpose, but what it results in is pretty messed up. See, the Samantha wish might seem innocuous at first, it's just wishing to be a girl by accident. I don't have a problem with that wish or even Timmy's motivation for staying as a girl for the episode. He wanted to use his newfound girliness to find out what Trixie would like for her birthday. That's thinking on your feet and adapting to your situation. My problem with this wish is the aftermath of it. Trixie is someone who thrives and suffers from her popularity. Yeah, she almost certainly loves the attention to some extent, but thanks to that same attention, she has to hide any interests that aren't stereotypical of a popular girl. Enter Samantha, who shows her how to be unabashedly herself, which is something Trixie truly needed. And just as fast as they become friends, Samantha disappeared from her life forever. Timmy never wishes to be Samantha again and doesn't even wish for Samantha to be a real person like with Tommy or however that worked. Trixie seemed pretty sad about Samantha not showing up, which is even sadder if you see it from her perspective. And while Timmy said the right things to her, it was simply the wrong messenger in the wrong place. I'm sure Timmy could have made some progress with Trixie if he didn't do it in such a public place, and I really believe that if Samantha said the same things at the party instead, Trixie would have broken from her bubble, but hey, I guess we'll never know. So I get it, Vicki is the worst human in Dimsdale. Maybe. And if she had it her way, all kids would be enslaved under her, which is kind of what happens in the new show. There she's a party princess now and goes to different kids' parties, lays down her authority, and has to make various things for her to sell. And I mean, good on her for evolving her hustle. But in Totally Spaced Out, Timmy sort of wishes her a million miles away, which ends up turning into her getting drugged and kidnapped by an alien. Look at Timmy, he loves what's happening to Vicki, though that joy doesn't last too long. In Mighty Mom and Dino Dad, Timmy wishes that his parents had superpowers so that they would have more time for him, and hey, it worked for a second until they started fighting crime, which, I mean, what else did Timmy expect? All of his favorite superheroes fight crime, so why would his parents be any different? Anyway, I'm not counting this wish against Timmy. It's a fair and surprisingly innocent wish at the end of the day. My only real problem is that Timmy's parents are some of the last people that I want having superpowers, especially Timmy's dad. I'm surprised he didn't immediately start gunning for Dinkelberg. The episode Fool's Day Out is an interesting one. I won't give him too much crap on his initial wish because he had no idea how bad the April Fool would be and had to do something to stop him. The thing is, his solution was to, and I quote again, wish for all the air in the world to be full of laughing gas. What? Why was that his default option? There has to be better answers to this problem. Honestly, wish that everyone laughed at anything that April Fool said. Not elegant, but gets the job done, maybe. But replacing air with laughing gas has to have a devastating effect on the world. Not even just on people, but like everything. You see what's happening to Kanye? That's everyone now. But whatever, it looked cool at least. Finally, we make it to the last episode I'll be looking at in this video, Scary Godparents, where Timmy wishes that everyone's Halloween costumes were real and scary. Don't even know why he specifies scary, or targeted everyone with his wish. I get it, he's jealous of the popular kids getting the costume he wants, and his parents did give away all of his stuff because of it, but I mean, it's not like Chester and AJ's costumes were bad. Sure, his costume ended up sucking and his Halloween was going pretty bad, but he could have fixed himself without messing everyone else up in the process. His reasoning was that Vicki is scary and the rich kids have real costumes, so clearly that means all the costumes should be really real, dangerously real. Most of the kids are dressed up as monsters and villains, so there's no way this could have gone well. Honestly, Timmy is lucky that only the Pumpkinators wanted to destroy the world. It's also funny that Timmy was surprised that everyone's costumes are real now. He did say all of our costumes. What did he think that meant? Especially having a whole song about wanting Halloween to be scary. Actually, in that song, he wishes the whole world was scary. Maybe he was just really caught up in the song. At the very least, he had a great Halloween and no one died, probably. On a slightly different note, what the hell were in those Pumpkinator costumes? It has secret compartments and gives them super strength? That's insane. And that brings us to the end of the video. Ultimately, I don't really think Timmy's a bad kid or anything. He's just extremely impulsive, doesn't like to think things through, which gets him in trouble a lot. At the end of the day, he tends to do the right thing, and at the end of the episodes, he seems to learn a lesson. It's just funny to see how bad Timmy's wishes can get. And again, if this video does well, not a high bar for me. I'll look at the other seasons, so like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed this. And let me know what's your favorite wish Timmy has made. Oh, and subscribe to our Patreon. You can see these videos earlier and vote on what we do next. There's also some exclusives going up there soon, so be sure to check that out. Only if you can afford it though, let's not get crazy here. But before you go breaking the rules, have a good day.